Hey there, South Mississippi. Chief Meteorologist Eric Jeansonne here. The quick update on the forecast. We have a lot to talk about. We got remembering our big winter storm last year. We got some rain moving in tonight, and we have the latest on how things are trending for that winter storm this weekend. So first of all, today marks 1 year since we saw our snowiest day on record here on the Mississippi coast. We tied the record for most snow in a single 24-hour period with December 31st, 1963, and many areas picked up much more. Officially 7 inches at the airport in Gulfport, but some areas picked up almost a foot of snow across South Mississippi. Waveland on this day last year picked up 10.5 inches. Ocean Springs 9 inches, 9 at Long Beach. Gulf Park Estates almost 9 inches. Many areas in that 5 to 10 inch range as far as snowfall totals. Certainly a day we're all going to remember for years to come. And we probably, well, you never say never, but it's going to be hard to get another big storm like that anytime soon. So 1 year later, we are not dealing with snow, but we are dealing with rain, and rain is moving in right now. It's very light across the area. We don't expect heavy rainfall totals over the next 24 hours, but off and on light showers are going to continue overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's a look at Futurecast, and you can see how scattered in nature and how off and on it will be. And as we go throughout the day tomorrow, we can't rule out a few scattered showers as well, especially as we go into the afternoon. We are going to see some pretty warm temperatures. In fact, the next few days are looking very spring-like with warm temperatures close to 70 degrees each day. In fact, we're not looking at any freezes until we head towards the end of the weekend. So a little break from the freezing temperatures until we get to early next week. All right, look at the water vapor. See that big swirl there off the coast of California? That is our upper level low. That is the winter storm that is beginning to move into California. It's going to take the southern branch of the jet stream down south and across the southern part of the United States. It's this upper level low that's going to pull all the moisture in from the Gulf over that incoming cold air to bring that winter storm. And you can see the jet stream that will carry it across the desert Southwest through Texas up into the southeast. And it's that track with the incoming cold air that we will monitor for the potential for what could be a pretty significant winter storm to impact a very large region. Hey, the hurricane hunters are helping out. You know, they don't always, just because it's not hurricane season doesn't mean they're not working. The hurricane hunters actually have been off the coast of California today and yesterday collecting data from this big upper level low. Because we don't have much data out over the Pacific Ocean, this data is being plugged into forecast models, and it's going to hopefully help with some fine details of the forecast, those details like exact timing and where we're going to see that freezing line set up and how much moisture we're going to have to work with as we go into the weekend. So hats off to the hurricane hunters for helping out. It's not uncommon for them to go out in the Pacific or any other location in the winter months to sample data to plug into forecast models, especially for big widespread storms like this one that we're going to see. Look at the winter storm watches that stretch all the way from New Mexico all the way to the Carolinas. So that is a large area to be under a winter storm watch. Northern Mississippi is under a winter storm watch. It is increasingly more likely that the greatest impacts are going to be north of us as we go into Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. But if South Mississippi were to see any type of wintry precipitation, there may be a narrow window of opportunity as we go into Sunday night into Monday morning. That's when it looks like the coldest air, the freezing line, is finally going to move into South Mississippi. The question will be, will there be any lingering moisture behind the freezing line by the time it gets here to bring us the opportunity for a little bit of a wintry mix? So here's a look at the latest thinking as far as timing of everything. And again, as we get closer to the event, we will have better details on timing and location of the freezing line. But here's what it looks like Saturday morning. Freezing rain breaking out across North Mississippi and North Louisiana and Arkansas. You can see that blue line, that is the freezing line. So everything north of that freezing line, temperatures are below freezing. Everything south of it, the temperature is above freezing, so you get rain. It looks like rain starts to move in by Saturday evening, and overnight Saturday it could be a wet night across South Mississippi going into Sunday. Here we are Sunday morning, the freezing line sagging across the central part of the state with lots of freezing rain to our north, but mainly just rain throughout the day on Sunday. It's what we have to watch is by Sunday evening, the freezing line starts to move on in, but models are kind of hinting that maybe the moisture begins to leave before the freezing line gets here, and that certainly would be some good news for us. What we're going to keep an eye on is if that freezing line gets here and we still have some freezing rain to deal with early Monday morning. Even though we don't expect the widespread totals like we are expecting up north, it only takes just a tiny bit of freezing rain or drizzle to cause some big problems. As far as ice is concerned, the glaze potential, again, freezing rain, it's deceiving. It falls as liquid and it freezes on contact, and there is a very strong signal that we could see significant ice accumulations across the northern half of the state that would lead to power outages and tree damage. So if you have friends or family up north, make sure they are prepared for the possibility of perhaps days, maybe weeks without power due to this ice storm. So there's always a lot of questions on what's the difference between freezing rain and sleet. And essentially, freezing rain, it falls as liquid and it creates a glaze of ice over there, very much like the icing over a donut. Now, when it comes to sleet, it falls already as a solid. It's already a pellet of ice by the time it hits the ground. So that's a little bit better. It limits the power outage potential and tree damage potential because that is not going to coat the trees and power lines with ice. But it can accumulate on roads, and once it gets packed in, it makes roads absolutely a nightmare. So the difference between freezing rain and sleet is one creates a glaze and one is sort of a sprinkle on the ground there. All right, taking a look at outside now in the Hancock-Whitney Bank Tower Cam at Gulfport. We're currently sitting at 61 degrees. It's a mild out there. Overnight tonight, our temperature's not falling too much. We'll generally stay in the 50s by tomorrow morning. As we work our way towards lunchtime tomorrow, many areas climbing into the upper 60s to low 70s. Again, it's going to be a warm day tomorrow, Friday, and pretty much Saturday. We're looking at some very warm temperatures. The cold air really doesn't get here until maybe Sunday afternoon. As far as tomorrow is concerned, again, can't rule out those scattered showers, especially during the first half of the day or early afternoon. And we'll gradually start to see the winds become more southeasterly by the afternoon as well. All right, the cold air really comes in Sunday night, Monday morning. Look at these low temperatures. We could be looking at a hard freeze Monday morning, so a pipe freeze Sunday night into Monday, and also Monday night into Tuesday morning, another pipe freeze. So those are the nights that we're watching where you're likely going to have to protect all 4 Ps, people, pets, pipes, and plants. So no freezes for the next several nights, but as we go into Sunday night, Monday night, we're looking at freezes. 7-day forecast, it looks like this again. A nice warming trend through Saturday, and then temperatures plummet on Sunday with 20s possible Monday and Tuesday. And of course, we're going to watch how that moisture interacts with the cold air.